Check, check. Can you guys hear me? All right. Well, I guess you couldn't hear any of that music while the things were loading, but all right, you can hear me. That's all that matters. GM, hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great weekend. I certainly did. The family, we were in Chicago hanging out with the crew, got to meet my new nephew, my brother's son. Man, he's so cute. He's like fresh. He's like a week old. And it was, it's so much fun to meet a new family member and all that. So shout out to my brother and his wife. Congratulations on the new member, the little guy, the little homie, one of the boys. Got a chance to go get donuts one on Saturday morning with my brother and his wife and my wife and my daughter. So it was fun. The brothers and their families. And then yesterday, right before we left town, we went to lunch with my mom, and so we got to do a picture with just the boys, me, my brother, and my nephew. So Blocky just had a grandchild last week. That's right. Shout out to the chat. Got Crypto Brian letting us know that. Blocky, congratulations. That's super cool, man. Kids are fun. I can only imagine grandkids are that's like the next level, right? So congratulations to you, sir. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Sorry for the audio issue in the beginning. I don't know. I whatever. That has to do with, for whatever reason, that's the AI music player on Chrome. You could play through the thing. It should have been bada boom, bada bing, but it wasn't. So anyway, we are here. This is a new thing I'm going to do. This is the morning macro. So over the last week or so, I've been releasing the morning macro as kind of like a newsletter. And so really what I got the idea, because I mean, it's how I do my research, right? Like I have all these Google, and you guys probably know this because I know that I talked about it in the Web3 breakfast, but so I have all these like Google alerts that come in the form of headlines, right? And so I get it at like 6 a.m. and I read through that, and then like kind of like those are like, while I'm learning understanding what, you obviously you look at that prices and all that stuff. You're looking at headlines to figure out the thesis of the day and all that and where we're at. Mondays are really important for this kind of a thing anyway. And so I was like, you know what? Let's turn this research method into, I mean, the newsletter on Medium or whatever, like an article thing was one thing. And then like it really got to my mind, like, okay, look, I am up early every day. Every single day of my life, I'm up early. So I might as well use that to my advantage. I wanted to actually do 7 a.m., but okay. So we'll get to I'm going to end the show with a 1% better segment every day. And today's lesson is going to be the just do it. And, look, I feel like I'm getting a little bit better, right? I'm drinking some water. I had some coffee, but I woke up this morning and I had every intention on doing the show at 7. But I tell you what, man, I couldn't breathe. And yesterday, we flew back yesterday evening, got back to the house. Probably got back to the house about 9:30, and then maybe a little bit later than that. And then we were all kind of wired and we are up till midnight. So I didn't quite make the 7 a.m. time slot that I like, but 8 a.m. was pretty good too. It's a pretty good show for me, right? It gives me it gives me time, because if I'm up by 6, it gives me 2 hours to get prepped, understand what the narrative is, at least till now, right? And then obviously, like, that could change. Like, once we get to 9 o'clock, 9:30, the everything could completely change. But up until then, obviously, we're riding through what happened over the weekend. I don't believe that we're creating a gap. I know that we had one last week. I think we're still like around 66,000. One of the headlines I was looking at this morning was Bitcoin drops below 67,000. Like, hey, well, look at the chart. Bitcoin's been below 67,000. Like that, it's not even news. So slow your roll. Carrie Cook. Yes. Add this to your spreadsheet, please. Absolutely 100%. Every single day, Monday through Friday. Maybe we'll try to do something different on the weekends. Probably not the same time, but I am using my early rising to my advantage. I get things delivered to me, like I said in my email, pretty early. I'm digesting the information, so we might as well go through it together. And so I think that's a pretty good recipe for success. So let's see, who do we got in the chat? I want to make sure that we shout everybody out. Shout out to Secret Squirrel Legend, taking home the gold medal today. Shout out to you, Curtis, in the chat. What's up, Curtis? Jay, let's go. Let's see, Jay Brandon. We got Kerry as my guy. He's my mod in the building. Let's go. Let's see. That's the homies. Roddell. Crypto Brian, as we said. Shout out to you guys. David B in the building. Let's go. Still that gap at 80,000. We'll look at that in a little bit. I know that I have that pulled up at some point. In just a second here. So, like, kind of the flow of the show is, just so you guys know, and we'll get like the graphics all done. We'll make this thing a little bit more sexy. We'll tighten up the production value. We'll see how all of that goes. But for now, and again, going back to the 1% better, just do it. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. So, all right, let's break into it right now. So, Bitcoin outperforming equities in risk-off session as Iran conflict enters the third day. And really quick, let's talk about that. Obviously, there's a lot of interesting news that we're all seeing, right? I happen to be friends with a lot of people that live over in Dubai, and we'll just use Dubai as the example, right? A lot of the news is, showing older videos of, things exploding or, exaggerating truths. And I know that there is some conflict there, right? Like there's been some issues. However, from what I understand, that the government of the UAE is doing a really good job of keeping everything going pretty well over there. And so, it sucks that the world is at war. However, when there's bad people, you got to remember, like the regime over there in Iran, like, has killed like 40,000 of their own people for just kind of want to like live their lives. And so, like, we take things like that for granted, obviously, here in America, right? Because you get, we're not going to get political here, but obviously people are taking things like that, what it is, what it is. Anyway, so let's get into this, because that is the important thing. We are here for crypto. We are not here for political. Bitcoin outperforming equities, and so rebounded to 66.5 after the weekend strikes on Iran. It triggered $300 million in liquidations, and I believe we have got, let me get this right here, BTC heat map, right? The liquidation heat map. Let's pull this sucker over. Oh, there we go. Let's take a look at this right now and see. Thank you, sweetheart. That's my wife bringing me some coffee. Y'all know I need that. Thank you, baby. Haha. Okay. All right, let's go to the symbol here. I like running the symbol. I don't put it on, I guess. Do they have They do have big units. All right. Now that's where we trade. Okay. Well, we're not going to do that at the moment. Let's go to symbol. We've got some liquidation opportunities on both sides of the spectrum. I think this is the day that you're seeing a lot of people take a gamble, right? A lot of people are trying to front run what's going to happen, and that is very clear because when you look at the Bitcoin chart, and we're going to get back to the story here in just a second, but this was one of the observations that I was making. Was look at this motherfucker, like we are tight. We have just started, and it's. I know we're still ranging down a little bit, but I mean, let's go off the daily. Let's put this on like the 48-minute. I think it'll still look pretty flat. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at this range that we are just stuck in. Whew. Let's see. Can we pull it back? Yeah, we're still in it. We're still in it. Let's see what. Let's go from here. We'll go up here. Okay, so that's even like just a 10%. So we could probably even widen this sucker. But in 15 days, like, and see, we've gone on a little bit. So, like, let's just say 12%. Like, Bitcoin stuck in a 12% range over the last 15 days. All right, let's do this even more. All right. I think this is a better idea. We're going to go to the top. We won't do that wick because we don't need that. We will go to the bottom here. All right. So Bitcoin is stuck in a 13.18% range over the last 24 days. There is usually some crazy volatility in this coin, as you can see in, probably if you zoom out, right? When you zoom out, you can see some different stories and stuff. But I would expect, to be perfectly honest with you, I expect this thing to go down. And if you were to take a look at, let's put this back on the daily so you can see this. And I know we're not really supposed to be getting into like TA and shit right now. We can do that a little bit later, but it's all just part of the story. I mean, this is like, I'm not here to be the bearer of bad news, ladies and gentlemen. That's not my jam. That's not what I want to do. I am a bull. However, we understand we're in a bear market. That right there. 9,838 bucks. Somewhere around there is what's going to be the bottom if this plays out. If this bearish flag, this continuation plays out, we are going sub $40,000. So be ready. Be ready for that. Put some orders in. I'm starting to do that. I'm trading over on BitUnex. As you guys can see, look right down here. There's a QR code. If you want to just go to BitUnex, use code JChains. It's in the description of this video if you guys need it. And you can get trading on the team. We got a deposit bonus. It goes for a couple more days. Let's see here. What's going to be the best way for me to pull this up? Let me go to, let's see. Here's my message with him. And we got to go closer to the bottom here. Here it is. All right. So here you go. There's 10 hours left of your deposit bonus. So make sure you guys sign up. You can get a deposit bonus if you deposit. Let's see. You get $80 if you deposit 500. You get 20, but you get 20% if you deposit $100. You can get started with $100. Look, it's not, you don't have to throw in thousands. That's not part of the game. We're doing it slow. And as like this show progresses and as it goes on, there will be different segments. There will be different things. We will do like beginner kind of best practices, all sorts of things, right? Because the whole point is to make sure that everybody's using these tools to their advantage. Because look, you can make some good money trading, but you gotta be smart. You can't just, I've done it. Learn from my experience. I've done that. I've gone right in. I've done woohoo. See this? See that cowboy hat? I'm a cowboy. You've seen me post screenshots of 100x leverage. I can do it. But when we are doing things on this show, when we're talking about things moving forward, we are only going to be using 10x, 10x at the most, at the absolute most, for stuff when it pertains to the show. You will see me post higher leverage. You will do that. You will see that. But when we're talking about stuff and we're going through the show stuff, we are just going to be doing 10x, and this is, it's good risk mitigation and all that stuff. And so, when we're in the charts and when we're looking at Bitcoin, all that stuff, if there happens to be a nice setup or a good opportunity, you darn right we'll get one live. But we're not going to force it. We're not going to just make something happen. We will go through a bunch of news. We'll be looking at the Bitcoin charts and all that stuff. That's mainly what I am trading. And if there are, things in the chat where you're like, dude, look at this coin, look at this, yada ying, bada boom, bada bing, we will. But we're really going to stick to Bitcoin for the most part because you guys know that's where it's at. And I think most people are off altcoins right now. It'll have its opportunities. Again, we'll have segments and down the road, maybe once a day, maybe on Fridays, once a week, like on a Friday or something, we'll talk altcoins and we'll look at like some meme coins or whatever. But here we go. Yeah, right now the rest is trash. Everything else is just garbagio. Countries and nation states are not fighting over fucking, meme coins, buddy. My apologies. And I'm sorry to offend you, but right now it's the Bitcoin show. But I know, it's funny. I say that, and look at this. Let's go back to the chart. Let's go to Bitcoin dominance. Like, look, it's at 58.5%. Like, it's not ripping, kind of like what we thought. Like, look at this candle. Like, back in October when we had scam day, like I kind of thought we were going to just keep marching up. And again, 70%. I got this number lined up. We're coming to the end of my line here, which I had. And man, we drew this. When were we talking about 70%? I mean, because I know we were talking about it last year for a while. So probably, well, that's in April. So look, I mean, so when I talk about that, this is what I mean. Throughout history, back here in 2018, at the end of 2017, into the beginning of 2018, boom, we hit that 70% threshold. Boom, went down. That was altcoin season, baby. Oh, how sweet it was. That was everybody. If you were in crypto then, holy Toledo, was that was euphoria. Peak euphoria. 100%. Boom, 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 boom. Bitcoin climbs. And then boom, we hit 70% again today. Or not today, at this day right here in September of 2019. And then it drops down from that 70% to 58%. So 12%. This was another altcoin rally. This wasn't, it wasn't, you remember, peak euphoria like we just spoke about, but it happened. And then boom, look, we happened again in December of 2020. We did it again. Bada boom, bada bing. Ripped down to 40%, from 70 to 40%. A 30% rip. That was altcoin season again. That's why we got the greed. That's why we got it. But now look, if you look at some of these movements, look how it went down so sharp. And then that was a little bit of a climb, but from the climb of December to 17 to August of 2019, less than 2 years. From this next move, you got September. When we started really going down, September, when it peaked out of 19. And then it went down at the bottom of September 20. It peaked out again here in December of 2020. Okay. But look, it was slow. And then a pretty decent climb. Look at this. Like, I may have to change the thesis. Like, we may not hit 70% again, or this is like the long game. I don't really know. Like, look at how much longer this extension of the dominance factor, even while, and I know that, like, obviously when you think about all the meme coins and all, again, we talk about this on the morning show quite often, where like you've got in 2017, 2018, when maybe even 2019, whatever, when we started really paying attention to the amount of coins that were on Coin Market Cap, there were just a few thousand. That's it. There's like 40 million. What does Coin Market say now? Coin Market Cap say now? Where the hell is it? Oh, it's down here at the bottom. 36.42 million cryptos tracked. For what? For what? What do we need that many coins for? That's why we'll never have an altcoin season. That's why we need bear markets. We need bear markets to clear up the liquidity. Now, somebody had explained to me something a long time ago about locked liquidity in these meme coins. And that's going to be a lot of the people who are still holding them and are holding altcoins, meme coins, with the anticipation of them pumping up to new highs or at least near where they got them so that they don't lose money. And now you've round tripped them a few seasons and that's it. You've got locked liquidity. It's not gonna go up anymore. Game over. And so, okay. So a moral of that story: sell your low hanging fruit. Just get the dust, put it all into a stable coin, wait for the market to dip, put in an order, put in a spot order, right? I'm going to put in an order at like probably a couple. I'm going to layer them. I'll probably start at like 45,000. I'll do 40,000 and then I'll do like what I'm thinking, the 39, just in case that is the absolute bottom. I want to hit an order. So I'll do like a 39.8 or whatever we pulled up, and whatever, like when the move starts happening and we can do our correct measures and all that stuff, we'll pull something, but it's going to be right around like sub 40,000. Good morning, by the way. I know it's early for some of you. Thank you for joining me. 8:30 on the East Coast. It is, it could be 5:30 on the West Coast, could be where you're at. You could be over in Europe. By the way, I saw Doug, 6 a.m. Doug, dropping a message in the chat this morning. What's up, Doug? Hope all is well with you, brother. Miss you, my guy. All right, Blocky in the building. Let's get it. Let's get it. The mod squad hanging out. Let's get it. Monta, Armand Clark. What's up? All right, let's get back into going here. All right, so we went this. Is there anything that we need to go through here? Let's just go through what we know, and then we're going to move on to the next stuff here, because we kind of talked about the whole thing with what's going on with Bitcoin at this particular moment with this story here, as far as where they're saying the 66.5, but Bitcoin trading near 66.5 as we were looking at a second ago. It is 65.9. So we may be dropping a little bit actually right now. Let's put it back on the 48 minute. Yeah. Man. All right. There you go. There's a better look at it. So we're going down a little bit. I kind of wanted to put in a short this morning. What we talked about, and when we looked at the liquidation heat map, is today could be a whipsaw kind of a day to go, just go get that. So I'm waiting. I'm sitting out. I don't need to get smoked up. I don't want the account getting blown up. We're trying to do this wisely. So we are going to cautiously hold off on making any trades this morning, unless there's a clear indication. There's something that I want to bring your attention to, and I got to talk to Mike, the Modern Canadian, about this. But it's about paying attention. If anybody knows anything about this, or they're doing it themselves, it's shorts before not 10 a.m. Markets react to our ad. That's 9:30, my guy. I believe, right? And I think it's like, so what I've been seeing online this weekend was most people were excited about shorting crude oil this morning. So is that where most of the money is going to go? Is shorting oil? I don't know. I thought the market was going to not hang as well as it did, and I think that maybe surprised some people. Again, when you look at the chart, and we looked at this on We'll go the 2 hour. I mean, it's still kind of, I mean, you can still see like I know we're trending down and we have been on this 2 hour chart, but it's relatively flat. Like we've got some wick activity, but the bodies and stuff have been relatively flat as far as, where we've been. And it's been in that, 65, 66K range. We haven't really done a whole lot, as you can see. The spread is not that thick. So we'll see what happens when the market makes a decision of what it wants to do. I'm not here to predict. I would say, judging from just where the market's going, it's going down. However, because everyone also thinks that means it could be an up day. Not sure at this particular moment. We'll go through the rest of it. You can form your own opinion. If you want to try to front run the market, you're more than welcome to. I will remind you again of the liquidation heat map. Today could be a whipsaw day to go clear both of them. And then I would say pump to clear the short liquidations, and then dump to clear the long liquidations, and then continue on farther. If I'm a betting man and someone said to you, dude, I'll bet you $100 that this, I would say, no, this is what's going to happen. We're going to pump and clear the short because we're going to go further down. So let's go smoke those fuckers out. And then we dip and we clear everybody that's long and then continue going down. I could be wrong. Smash the like button if you think I'm right. You should also smash the like button if you think I'm wrong. Okay. Bitcoin ETF flows $1 billion of inflows, which is ending a 5-week outflow streak. When you read that headline, when you read the headline of $1 billion of inflows ending a 5-week outflow streak, when everyone's panicked about the price, what does that tell you? That should tell you something very clear. Don't worry about the price. Buy your Bitcoin. It's going to go back up. This is pain, but it is temporary. We are talking about a dip down to the high 30,000, 39,000, right? I'm talking about that. I'm expecting that. I'm kind of excited. Actually, no, I'm not kind of excited. I'm extremely excited for sub $40,000 Bitcoin. And even if it's just a wick, I'm going to have my orders down there so that order gets filled. So I can say, told you so, just in case. If it doesn't fill, so be it. I'm going to have orders layering down the whole way because, look, we are in a downtrend. We are in a downtrend until we are not. Let's zoom this sucker out. We get off the 2 hour. Let's go on the weekly. Let's look at the weekly. Zoom that out. There you go. You're in a downtrend until you're not. Now, are we starting to bottom out? Kind of looks like it, right? We're not experienced that massive dip. Again, this could be when we zoom into this, that's when we start to see the bearish flag and how the potential of that could play out. I'm not saying that this is going to play out, but if it does, $39,680 is the bottom that I'm looking at based off of this. Now, we may make some adjustments to it on a number dollar basis. But that 30, like I think originally when I measured this, it was like 38,500. So like it's gonna be somewhere in this like $1,000 range towards is where I will pinpoint like this particular move if it happens. But if it doesn't happen, doesn't happen. We could also see, look, you could also be seeing like this happen. Like we don't have to see the down happen. It doesn't have to happen. Something great could happen. Rounded bottoms pay the bills, and this thing could be starting to, and this could be a little bit longer than expected. However, I saw some headlines on our story. We'll get to it in a minute here. It is applicable, so we'll pop over to it. But stablecoin yield rewards. Look, if they can get the correct legislature and the correct framework done in the next little bit here, there's no reason why later this year or even into next year that we start to see some better activity. At the end of the day, like, this is the building time, and everybody's got the opportunity to stack some more chips. You got the opportunity to learn a new segment of this. If it was, you were stuck on gaming in the last run and you want to focus on RWAs this run, you can do that. Vice versa, you can do that. You can pick a whole different pillar. AI can be your jam. It doesn't matter. AI is probably a really smart thing to get into, only because it seems to be very, very popular just about everywhere. So let's see here. David, it's creeping up as time goes along. The 200 continues to move upwards. Let's look at that. Where is that? Let's delete our. So the 200 is over here, isn't it? Yeah, the 200 is like the orange color. So we're on, this is on the weekly. We could probably zoom in a little bit. Let's zoom in on the, let's go to 4 hour. There we go. So we are a little bit closer on some of these, huh? So 66.4. So I don't know. We're still the Bears are still in control, no matter how you look at this. I think no matter whatever time frame you look on this. I mean, I'm not going to look at a short time frame. I mean, we look at the hourly. Everything's above it. We are dipping. 65.8 today could be a. We'll see what today is. We'll see what today is. The hourly. Let's look at the daily again. Everything's way up there. You got the year-to-date VWAP is up here. These things that have the tabs right here, just so you guys know, in case you are not familiar, is the leapfrog indicator. That's from my homie Nick. The leapfrog indicator, flopping groper, Nick. He's got that. If you need some information, I know some of you guys in the chat have it. I love it, man. I consider this thing to be a magnet. The price just loves popping to it. I am learning some new trading, like trading styles. When I've been obviously talking with Mike on Wednesday nights, we have our Trade Daddy show, 9 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you tap into that. Learning some different styles from him. I've been listening to Sam because Mike gets a lot of information because he's in the trading group with Sam, and so I've been watching Sam's live streams while I've been kind of reading and doing my stuff. I obviously took the time off the doing the 10 a.m. show, and we stopped doing that so we could refocus and do some other things. And so this has kind of been the main focus, was learning some different trading and learning some different styles, and seeing what confluence we can put together between the different opportunities. And so it's been fun. I'm having a good time. I hope that you guys would actually join our trading team on BitUnex. You can scan down below. There's a trading bonus that ends today. I showed just a little bit ago. There's like probably 9 hours and some change left of that. But I am also going to be launching a Discord. I'm going to be launching a private Discord. It'll be a paid Discord. There'll be I think some opportunity for maybe people to listen in if we're doing a show or something, and get the opportunity to become a member, or maybe a preview or something. I'll figure some things out, but had some counsel for some pretty cool people, and so we're going to work on putting that together. So I've started building that. Obviously went to Chicago last week to go see some fam, like I said, my nephew, but back home, and we're back at it today. So we're going to get back at building that. So if you guys if you are in the chat and you're watching, you're like, yo, shit, dude, I want to be part of that. I want to be on the trade team. I want to be in the Discord. Drop it in the chat, or shoot me a DM, or you could even shoot me an email, or just shoot me a DM. You don't need to shoot me an email unless email's your thing. Then just tell me right in the chat that email is your thing, and then we'll get together and I'll shoot you some kind of an email, and we'll have a conversation on email. Everybody loves email these days, right? Okay, doke. Morgan Stanley is exploring crypto custody while shares trade near fair value. Let's see. What do we have here as our TLDR? Find your next quality investment with Simply Wall Street. That's got to be part of the. Yeah, that's the ad. Maybe not. Morgan Stanley has applied for a national trust charter focused on digital asset custody and services. Okay, that's big news. This is big news. The charter will allow the bank to directly hold client digital assets and provide related services under federal oversight. And the move marks a new step in the bank's build out of regulated crypto infrastructure for institutional and wealth management clients. Now, I would say that this is huge. This to me signals that it's like the shift. So they don't care about the price. And I would say that they don't care about the price because they can manipulate it. They're going to manipulate it down. And so they can say, we don't care about the price. But it's not about the short-term price. It's about I think the long-term rails that are being built. And it's a long-term signal. Let's say, okay, so I said earlier, hopefully maybe by next year, but I think, I was always really hopeful. I think at the beginning of last year, I think it was beginning of last year when they really started talking about custody, like banks and all that stuff. And I really thought that it was going to be something that they were going to fast track and it was going to be a last year thing, but clearly that didn't happen. And so we think that the infrastructure will be built over the next couple of years. And I've had conversations with some people here in our community about this same thing. Like, when do we think this is going to happen? When do we think this will come to fruition? With U.S. banks being able to offer crypto to their retail clients. Now, they're probably, I believe, at some scale in some banks, if I'm not mistaken, already offering crypto to like wealth clients, right? So you've got your private wealth. You remember we talked about this where they were urging like 4% of your portfolio in Bitcoin. And so that was something that I believe, and that was just one bank. I'm sure that there are several. And I believe somebody had told me that their bank, and maybe at their bank, they can get Bitcoin, but it's a smaller bank. It's not one of the major ones. And that's ultimately what we're waiting for is, the here in the States, at least, like the Wells Fargos, the Bank of America, the JP Morgans. What else you got? What are the other major banks? Drop your bank below and your ATM PIN number and your account number and your routing number. Don't do any of that. Don't do any of that. All right, let's look at a chart that we can look with this. Michael Navarro wants in the discard. Perfect. Perfect. I love that. So I will shoot you a message, my dude. Ryan Shannon also does the 5DMA and teaches how to calculate it without using a 5DMA indicator. Interesting. All right. Yeah, the anchor VWAPs work. Absolutely. David, what's up, my guy? I got November 4th, regardless of the price, the day after the elections. That's from Mike Vollmer. My guy. Oh, and Luke is in the building too. AI tokens. You know what? We'll do a segment. I think I dropped my. We'll do a segment. Let's do a segment this week on AI tokens. We'll do something very specific sometime this week on AI tokens. So I will remind myself. I'll write it on my board real quick. Give me 1 second. AI token. There we go. It's been written. If it's been written, it's been done. And I don't know if you guys noticed, I'm wearing my karate combat pants. I often wear them as like sleep pants. My gi pants. Those are my gi pants. Sorry, that was like a not serious moment while I was drinking coffee. All right, let's get back into this. Mike, I will get you guys the information for the Discord. I'll get that for everybody. But GM, everybody, thank you for being here. Please, if you would, smash the like button. It's the number one way you can help me out. New time slot for me. We are very excited about launching this. It's a good opportunity to really get things cooking in the morning, really understand where the market's heading. We look at charts, we look at news. It's the morning macro. And again, like I've been putting out this like a Medium article that really goes through all my research because I get these headlines, I look at these charts, I put this stuff together. This is what I do. I drink my coffee, I drink my water, and I sit at my computer and I research, or I use my iPad. But now with the show, I'm sitting at my computer because it just makes it easier. Bada boom, bada bing. I'm here, and so it just shares my research with you guys. So what does it say? There's an MMA commercial that's on rotation here in North Carolina on streaming. Interesting. All right. Um, So this is the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. And why are we looking at this? Well, this has to do with the article that we were just talking about, with really Morgan Stanley becoming a bank. We know that the custody rails that they run on. I mean, this is going to be it. But either way, if you look at this chart, I mean, obviously we're still trending down. Like, very clear. We can zoom this sucker out too. This goes out to October, but look, what was once up here. So we peaked and we are at 32% dipski on the ETH Bitcoin chart. This is over on Binance, by the way. Some of you guys like them, some of you don't. I don't care. But what this does and why we're seeing the Bitcoin Ethereum chart dip like this is because Ethereum is not it. Like smart contracts, beta is not the meta. Let's zoom out the weekly. Oof. There we go. It looks like we're probably going to maybe start going off here a little bit. Unless it just falls off. The structure, let's look at structure. Roughly. Whoa, it's the triangle of love. I'm going to make a song about the triangle of, I don't need to write that down. I will absolutely remember that. Okay, so I like to call this the triangle of love. Oh, nice. There's an MMA guy that looks like me in a commercial. I like that. Okay, so unless I'm looking at this absolutely incorrectly, it looks like we have ourselves. You guys know me. We are in the triangle of love. Why are we in the triangle of love? Well, I don't know if we can actually call it the triangle of love. Well, this is the Bitcoin Ethereum chart, and we should actually see it. Like I said, it going up. It would make sense that it does, even if it does come down and we bounce here to make maybe I wouldn't know if you would call this a local, a double bottom on the local or whatever, but if we were at least to just go up. So we always call the triangle of love because we love being in the triangle of love because we're bullish bias and things usually go up. They usually go up. So we love being in the triangle of love. We're on the high side of the triangle of love. So things are sitting pretty. We're not down. And look, this is the middle ish. And so we're above it. Now, very highly likely that we got the marker. Boom. That's why we love the triangle of love. We'll see how it goes. When in doubt, zoom out. Give yourself a little bit more bullish advantage. Now, again, we've got opportunity and run. Look, that's the bottom. You've always got opportunity to go down. Always. That's just, like I said, opportunity. You can make money there because what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Let's go all crypto ETFs. Ooh. So we are on a new week. So we are zero. Here we go. Crypto ETF flow performance. Last week, we had $1.1 billion flow in last week into the ETFs. Now, what are the ETFs that this counts? I would assume it is the four majors that we see right here: Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and XRP. Bitcoin, Ethereum. There we go. Bitcoin. How many do we have? Let's say there's a whole list. We are going positive. So there you go. I mean, I think the most important thing is let's just go all crypto because that tells the story. We're not in an altcoin season or anything, but all of our inflow and net flow data is going to show zero because it's a brand new week. But look at this. Look at this. Nice little dip here. Obviously, round and bottoms will pay the bills. This looks like it's going to go back up into the 140, probably soon to be $200 billion AUM. And that means assets under management, part of the trend there. And why is this important? When I pulled this up, it was specifically talking about why swimming with the whales is the most important thing that you should be doing. People should be, I don't want to say buying right now. Don't empty all your dry powder. If you're just getting into crypto, make your investment. But DCA, everybody should, like, I've talked about it a few times so far. Like, everybody should be DCAing into their portfolio, and it should be predominantly Bitcoin. Like, get yourself, like, the problem with like getting any ERC20 is that you ultimately have to get Ethereum too. And you need to get Ethereum because you need the gas to sell, to move, to do whatever. So they're always just tethered together. So if you wanted to get Ondo, you have to get Ethereum. If you wanted to get whatever. Don't put me on the spot like that. I can't think of ERC20 tokens all of a sudden. Golly, I got to go look at CoinMarketCap. Is Dogecoin an ERC20 or that's a Bitcoin, isn't it? It's got a 0x, but anyway, you get the drift. Hey, good morning. How are you? I'm live. You coming to say hi? All right. Hey. Want to say hi to everybody? Tell them to smash the like button. Smash the like button. Thank you. You're just waking up? We're just waking up. There's a new time. There's a new time show for Daddy. Daddy goes live at 8 in the morning now. Okay. You go have some breakfast. All right. All right. I'll see you down there in a little bit. Okay. I love you. All right. There we go. I love you, sweetie. I love moments like that. Thank you, sweetie. I love you. Okay. It's a great time to smash the like button. Smash the like button for my little G right there. Love those moments. All right. Where the heck were we here? Let's go to this article. I think this one is a good one. This kind of talks about some of the things we were talking about earlier. Right? Stablecoin yield rewards likely won't be banned under OCC proposal, State of Crypto. And it sounds like there's going to be some movement on this. Really good. So the OCC proposal stablecoin yield procedures are the most ambiguous in the rulemaking plan. The Office of the Comptroller of the Currency published its proposed rulemaking to regulate stablecoins under the Genius Act, sparking. And this has a lot to do with the banks, right? The banks couldn't compete with that. That was the biggest, I think, gripe that they had was back in the day, like you could get 12% for your stablecoins, and the banks were like, "What the fuck is this about?" Like we have no way to compete with that. We are a dying breed if that's the case. And so stablecoin yields were forced to go down. That's why you only get like a few percent, and like you got to really do DeFi. It is what it is. But let's see here. Why does this matter? The OCC published its first take at rulemaking under the Genius Act, the first step towards returning the 2025 law into actual applicable rules for crypto companies to abide by. Well, that's the thing. I mean, like the banks, the problem is honestly, the problem with yield on stable coins and DeFi is the banks. And we all know that because they won't, what do they offer you on a savings account? Even on like a high interest savings account, like it's dog shit. Like you're not getting a lot of money. You could do a lot better yourself, and they knew that, and they knew they were toast. Let's see. Let's look at the total. This is what let's see. I wanted to do this right here. This and the liquidity of the stablecoin stuff right here. I believe that is probably the most important chart that we can look at here when we look at that. This article is boring though. You know, like, and I get it, but talking about affiliates. All right. Let's just look at the total. This is the total crypto market cap. Look, guys, we're due. We are due for a nice run. However, it doesn't look like it's going to happen yet. We could probably take the VWAPs off. We don't need this. What do you what do you see? It's kind of a little like a little broken shoulder. But it's there. Could you call that? I mean, you could call come on. What about this? And it's a little bit more spread out, right? But this that could be the head and shoulders, right? I mean, this is the entire crypto market cap. We were over $4 trillion. Where do we peak out at? We peaked out right here. 4.27 trillion. We are at 2.25 trillion. We lost $2 trillion on the market cap. That's crazy. We're due. I know we are. You know, it's going to be a good year. There's going to be a consolidation. We may go down a little bit. We're going back up. We're going up with a fury. It's probably going to be even more straight up than that. Just straight up, straight vertical to. Well, we were talking 8 trillion at one point, obviously. That's what that line up here means. We were talking about an $8 trillion market cap. Let's put that back on the table. That's where we're going. 8 trill. Sitting on the sidelines, printing tether, mining fiat until we are sub 50K. Cool. Boom. That's the move right there. Look at that. That's what I'm doing. I have some dry powder that I do. There we go. If I do a little DCA, just for the sake of DCA, it's small. It's like $50 a week. It's just so that I am doing it, so that I can practice what I preach. But I have a plan that sub 50K. Because I told you guys earlier in the show, 45,000. 45,000 is probably the first order. And these are they should be decent orders. 45,000, 40,000, and then we'll figure out what the exact bottom is. Right, according to the Bitcoin chart that we looked at today, it was 39.6. And so I don't know exactly where it's going to be, but it'll be somewhere around there. It'll be 38.9, 39.6, something like that. Something. Nothing wrong with DC. It all works out in the end. Absolutely. And again, I'm just doing a very small amount because I need to be practicing what I'm preaching. And so On Fridays, we'll structure the show where on Fridays, we'll do the $50 spot buy, send it to cold storage. That'll be something that we'll do live on the show. So all of the things that that we'll be really talking about, we'll be implementing. I will try to do as many of them I can live on the show. If there is the opportunity to get in a trade, we'll know it, right? Let's take a look at the 5-minute chart. It's 9 a.m. We should have definitely gone in our show. We have Heikenashis on, just so you know. I can put on normal candles so you guys can see exactly if you're a candle trader. Um I expect us to come back up here to the daily. This may dip down a little bit because it does chase the price. So this does move, but right now 66,219. Let's do this. We're gonna add alert. We're gonna add alert there, and then this blue is the 200 day. So that would mean that we would touch the 200 day. And the previous week to date and the 50 day are right around the same. So, I mean, I would like fully expect that we come back up to the 50 day. And this again is going to keep dipping. So let's do add alert on the EMA. That's what we want, because we want the alert on the EMA. So now we know what's up. And okay, so what I started playing with, just so you guys know, I didn't do it here because I need to get into the chat GPT so that I can get the code for it, because it requires code, JSON, and then something else, some other kind of code or something, that I put these alerts into the Discord. So what the stuff that we talk about, like I just set those alerts. You just saw that. So now they go into the Discord. So if you join the Discord, and again, yes, it is a paid Discord. We'll talk about all that at some point. But so when you get those alerts, you know what's happening, right? And so you will see. And again, these aren't on there, but moving forward, when we, especially when I'm doing stuff that's maybe not live, I will be putting those alerts into the format that get delivered on Discord. So if you are a member over there, you will have access to those. You will see those. You will know what to do. You will understand that, look, there's some, hey, and it's not a get into a trade. It's a go look at the chart. I even put that in the formatting. It says, before you do something stupid, go look at the charts. Before you do something stupid, go look at the charts. It only says it once. I said it twice, for dramatic effect, obviously. Okay, so Bitcoin's maybe deciding what it wants to do today. It wants to go down first. Today may be a long opportunity. Again, it's going to touch the daily VWAP. It does every day. It hasn't touched it since, well, I guess it's 7 in the morning. Okay. What is it? 9 o'clock. It's only 9 o'clock. We may see a little bit more of a dip. Let's put this on the hourly. I forgot we're not scalp trading right now. Okay. Well, yeah, so that's a pretty good dip. We're probably going to go down. Now, if we stay, we have, as you can see, we're going to keep dipping now. If we stay within this little this zone right here, I think the daily is the best way to show that. Stay within the structure of this. Or today could be the day that it breaks. I don't know. But look, we've got some wick activity outside of it, and there's probably some different ways to draw this, I'm sure, but this is the way that I've chosen to draw. And this is what I think is going to happen here. And so we're gonna flip and flop and grow, whatever. It's gonna just mess around in here for the next couple days, possibly. It could rip today. It could dip. We could go all the way down to 60,000 a day. Who knows? Look, we saw that happen back here on Friday, February 6th. We saw that dip down to 59,846. Yeah, it sure did. Sheesh. Sheesh. I didn't think it pierced 60,000. Crazy. Interesting. Okay. Price doesn't matter to me. Price doesn't matter to Mike Vollmer. There it is. All right. It's good to see you, Mike. It's good to see everybody in the chat. It's good to be here. It's great to be back. I miss being live. Obviously it's fun. This is a different format. We're going through the news. We're going through the charts. We're hopefully deciding collectively, which I think would be a great thing as a community. Some of the things that we want to structure the show around. Some of the things that are important to us. I'm loving taking a look at like the macro, what is going on in the world, what is going on, in politics, what's going on in tokenization, what's going on in regulation, stable coins, all that stuff. What is happening to help us draw a better conclusion into the world? All right, so we got a few more articles that we can look at, and let's look at some charts. If you guys got any coins that you do want to look at, this is probably a good day to do it. It's Monday. It's 9:05. The market's open up. I want to show you a strategy. I'm looking at Bitcoin on the 15-minute chart, starting at 9:30. You let that the first candle close, and then you can kind of get to work. You measure it and kind of see, where's the day headed. So doing some back testing on it. We'll see how it goes. All right, so we read that. And this is okay. So this is why. Let's see. And I have. So it was the institutional investors are seeing tokenized ETFs driving wider market adoption, and because of that, I pulled up this. I love looking at the RWA.xyz, and I actually met a high up there at the Ondo Summit in New York City just a few weeks ago. And I love this resource. I've always loved RWA.xyz for all the tokenization stuff. But if you look, to 25.90 billion, right? Like this thing is growing and it is going to continue to grow at an absolute exponential rate. We know that. Like, look, what was the number? 14 trillion by 2030. Like it's going to just explode. I know some of the other, let's see, can we get uh by 2030, tokenization is projected to transition from a niche experimental phase to a core financial infrastructure. Yeah, we know that. 30 trillion. Okay. Okay. Total tokenized asset value estimates ride widely based on scenarios with conservative forecasts around 4 to 4 trillion. More bullish projections. Yeah, Boston Consulting Group. That's the 16. I think it was 14 trillion, and high is 30 trillion. So we're going to expect to see this number continue to go. And if you look at this, what is that? Is it U.S. Treasury debt? Yeah, U.S. Treasury debt is the largest. That is by far the absolute largest component to the global market right here on tokenized real world assets. So tokenized gold driving weekend price signals while CME futures are closed. And we looked at did we not? Let's go back. So here's where our gap is. We're on the daily. Yep. There it is. So the question is, are we going to fill the gap soon? Or are we waiting for the bull run? What is going to happen here? What do you guys think? That's probably going to be the theme of a tweet today. Are we going to close this gap before or after the bear market? Because like if we go up and close this, although okay, so what kind of a gate is this? 20%. So from the bottom, would be 34% from where we're at right now to close the gap. Just so you know, would be a gain of 23 and points. So 25%. 25% closes the gap. That's doable. That's a liquidation ripper. Holy moly. That gets everybody. That's one of those scam wicks to the upside that just demolishes people. I think I'm setting an order there. I'm setting a big short order, clearing that gap. What do you think? Everybody's expecting the market to go down. What do you think about that? It would have to be a quick movement in order to get those liquidations. Huh. Let's do some research about that. We will. We will be doing that. The bottom 25 to 42K. I think like the measured move for that I'm looking at, I think is where we get to a structure, right? Like a body structure. I don't think that's a wick. I think that's a body. And so 39,000 in that range, 39,000 somewhere there with a candle body, a wick that could do some serious damage down below for sure. That could go low. I could see 25 is low. That's crazy, man. Holy smokes. But that literally like clears the deck for the push up to like a gazillion dollars. Very interesting. Yeah, I think in a quick hit up and a strong drop, 25%. Very reasonable. Look, we have seen 25% candles. Like I mean on different time frames for sure, but very doable here. Very doable. I want to take a look at, let's just hit refresh really quick. Let's look at coin market cap and then getting close to the market opening. So we may end the show and then let everybody go do their trading or whatever they want to do, or maybe we'll stay live. We'll see. If there's any charts you want to look at specific, guys, let me know. We can draw some lines. I'm getting stuffed up here. I still got to do the last segment of the show in a second here. Okay. Bitcoin 65.5. We got the fear and greed X at 15. Look, last week this shit was at like single digit. See that? We got an 8 on the 6th. 15. Buy when they're fearful, sell when they're greedy. Now, could it go back down? It could go back down. But if you were to buy now and then wait until next year when this shit's back up here, yeah, I. Can I look at Aerodrome? Yes, I can. Absolutely. Give me 1 second. So you got to start thinking about doing your DCA. I mean, look how fucking low it is. This would have been the day. This would have been the time. When we were single digits, if you had some dry powder, now it could go down again. You're not going to lose if you got a long-term mindset. You understand that? If you got a long-term mindset, if you're trying to make a quick buck today, go do something else. But if you got a long-term mindset and you want to change your life, start getting it. Because there may be a crazy whipsaw. There may be to the up, to the down, and then off to the races. You never know who's going to announce what. You never know what country is going to buy. You never know. You never know. You never know. And so you always want to be watching your charts. You always want to be setting your lines, doing your alerts, and checking what you want, your structure, all that stuff. David says, I'll start buying again if Bitcoin drops below 34,000. If Bitcoin doesn't go lower than 34K, I will be trading for the entire next cycle, not holding anything. I want to get in, get out, get paid. My guy, boom. Absolutely. That's what we're doing. I haven't been a long-term trader, just so you know. I have been probably maybe a swing trader, day trader, scalp trader. I will like to get in and get out, make some profit. And I don't go, and as you guys know, like I'm not one of those, and I love Crypto Face. He's a homie. I don't do like $1 million trades. I do like a couple $100 trades at whatever leverage. Remember, we're only doing 10x for the show. At whatever leverage. And like, I take my profits off the table. I'm in wrecked. I know it's better to take profits off the table and be consistent and do it a few times a day and add up versus trying to hit home runs. If you're just trying to hit home runs, man. I want to caution you. You can do it. You can be successful. I was successful. I also got wrecked. And so, there you go. All right. So that's everything that I've got for that. Let's see. We wanted to go to Aerodrome. Oh, how did I get to emojis? That was weird. Aero USDT. Let's take a look over on. Do they have it on my favorite exchange on the planet? I didn't see it. But I don't see BitUX. All right. That's weird. I will go OKX. If I'm not mistaken, the last time we looked, it was not looking good for Aerodrome. Now, does that, holy Christ, we're going to have to get this thing out to the weekly, not the 25-day. We want the weekly. Oi. Oi. Holy shit. What happened? Ace? That's not it. That's not it. Okay. Sorry. I didn't mean to scare anybody. That was the wrong chart. Crypto. Aerodrome Finance. Here we go. All right. A couple things I look at that make me nervous. It's very close. Could be considered a lower bottom. I guess technically we'll go there, there. So you've got lower highs and lower bottoms. That's not technically good. However, I do think Aerodrome, unless there's something material, like something, unless something's magically changed, which I have not heard anything, and we'll do some research. We'll look for some articles on Aerodrome. I thought that it had a bright future. I thought that there was a lot of good hype. I thought a lot of really good interest and some big money in it. If that's changed, we got to take a look. But this could be the buying opportunity of a life. So look, if you were to, let's just draw like a crazy, let's just say right there. That's been somewhat of a look. You got a bunch of resistance here. We broke through here. You got some resistance here, broke through, a little bit of bouncing there, and then broke. So this is like our, this is the line. If you can buy it below this line, you're going to make money. And so if you got it below 96 cents, you're going to do all right. Maybe if it comes back. If it does see a pump. Now let's go to, let's see what kind of research we did. Cole says, I don't know anything bad going on with Arrow. Oh, what's up, Ninja? My ninja. My ninja. Swap, deposit, take to the skies. Aerodrome. Is there any news? Aerodrome Finance faces DNS hijacking attack. Oh, that's right. So how's that going? We're probably gonna have to talk to somebody from Aerodrome. So this was back in November. Base's top DEX Aerodrome hit by a suspected front-end security breach. Aerodrome Finance Base's leading DEX is investigating a DNS hijacking attack on its centralized domains that expose users to phishing attempts targeting NFTs, ETH, and USDC through malicious signature requests. Okay, so all right. That being said, long story short, if that can get squared away, um, yeah, I mean, look, if when we get to a world that cares on a broad scale about more DeFi, yeah, it'll probably do all right. It could just be slow grind for a very long time. Depends on what your your cost basis is. You could do a DCA right now at this low price of 33 cents, and be hopeful that it pops at least back up to 96 cents, because then you should make some money. So you could 3x from where it's at to get to like its moment where it spends some time outside of above and makes some money. What's up, fam? What's up, everybody? In this video, my bad. And flashbacks. All right. So that's hopefully that was a good look there at Aerodrome for you. Let me know if you guys got any questions. We'll be doing some more of that throughout the week. We'll do I'll figure out some segments where we can look at some altcoins, and we'll take some requests and do all this stuff. And then again, going to be doing a big push towards, I think, migrating to the Discord soon. Maybe we'll go live inside of there, so it gives that incentive to join, is to be a part of it, be a part of the trading group. I'm going to be doing some more integration with all of that, so everybody's more part of it. And then we can kind of share our wins, our losses, really have some conversations, really get into it. Now that I'm back, I didn't, I had my laptop with me, but I needed some things that were here that I need to be able to, it seems, anyway, that's my bad. We're going to get it. I'm going to connect with you guys over in the Discord. So, but there is, let's go, look at this. There is 9.5 hours remaining for you to get a deposit bonus, 20%, if you join our trading team over on BitUnex. JChains is the code. If you know how to get there, you can find the link in the description. Very easy to do. I believe it's also the pinned post on my X account. So make sure you're following there as well. You're either watching on YouTube, which I absolutely appreciate. Thank you so much for doing that. Make sure you smash that like button. You drop a comment on the video. Definitely help this thing get spread out. If you're watching on X, let's get it. Smash the heart. Repost the video, tag some friends, and let's go. Okay, so any new spiders in your life? That's funny. Gotta know more context about that. I don't think I have a spider in my life, unless I do. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to end the show with was the 1% better segment. And this, and why I thought that I should even do this is because I got to the point this morning where I was trying to talk myself out of even doing the show. And I was really thinking to myself, you just got home late last night. You didn't, you woke up at like, 5:45 versus, 4:45 or 5 or whatever. So you didn't really have that much time. I've got a stuffy nose, as you could probably hear. And I was thinking to myself, like, oh, just maybe I'll start it some other day this week. And I thought to myself, the fuck are you doing? What do you tell people all the time? Like, if you want to get started doing something, just fucking do it. This show may have sucked. I may have been talking out of my ass. I don't know. I'm like, maybe when I draw lines on the chart, you can be like, this guy's an idiot. I may be absolutely have screwed this entire thing up, but I promise you it will get better. if things will, it will be an iteration. Things will do different things. Again, as the week goes on, maybe we'll have different segments. We'll talk about things that the community wants to talk about. We'll shift over potentially to shifting to the Discord. We'll make things more based on the community, all that stuff. And so this is a process. I am going to be using me waking up in the morning to my advantage, my expertise, my longevity in this ecosystem. And we're going to do this together. We're going to go through articles. We're going to talk about some things. We'll chit chat. We'll look at charts. We'll draw some lines. We'll set our alerts. If you are a Discord member, you will get those notifications so that at least if you watch the show, you'll understand what that alert means. But if you get that alert, then you'll know to go look at the chart, because it says, before you do something stupid, go look at the chart. So at the end of the day, I had to tell myself the same thing that I tell you guys. And it's, the 1% better and all that stuff that I preach and talk about. Like, it's a mantra. It's a mantra for me. It's hopefully something that resonates with you guys. But I do it so that it works for me. And so, I had to practice. And this kind of has been like the theme of the show today, is practicing what you preach. I feel like I've talked about it a few times, but that was the whole thing, is just fucking do it. If you want to get started trading, just fucking do it. If you want to get building your portfolio, just fucking do it. If you want to learn AI, just fucking do it. If you want to become a content creator, you have a camera. I've got some equipment, but if you have what you need, just get started. It's going to suck in the beginning. It may be uncomfortable. It may not be fun. You may not do what you think. You may think it's cringy. Other people are probably going to love it. That's just how it works. People love things that resonate with them, and as long as you are authentic and consistent and real, and not scammer or a shiller or a bullshitter, people will get it. People will understand it. So I really do appreciate you guys being here today. Definitely there's a lot of things going on in the morning, a lot of schedules, a lot of things up in the air, but you came and hang out with me, so I appreciate it. Go ahead and smash that like on your way out of here. I surely appreciate it. Have yourself a great day. Get yourself 1% better. Do something. Get to the gym. Make that call. Do your resume. Do that tweet. Shoot your shot. Call that girl. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. Do it today. All right. That is it for us this morning. Have a great rest of your day. The market opens in a few minutes. So watch the 15-minute candle. Set lines. Put it on 15 minutes. Set the top and the bottom, and then just watch it. We'll talk tomorrow about what happens. See you guys.